Boom to the hay, all you sports fans out there in the tubosphere, to you, the individual, as part of the collective. Welcome to Fast Track Sports Records here on Talk Radio version of the OMSR. I am your brief but concise host, Will, the alternative ESPN Sports Thrill. Always do a little quickie intro show like this to let you know the clip order coming up in the whys and wherefores. You end up with a significantly longer highlights reel. That way, excuse me, barring any unforeseen awkward pauses, including a 4.9 earthquake this morning, so rudely awakened. And the quickie sport rant of the segment. And the quick part was not it, but yeah, it's always interesting early in the morning. There's no going back to bed after that. Anywho, so I was like totally burned out yesterday. Spent 4 days covering mid-majors and a few majors. Conference tournaments, that is. But now we've got the A game going on this Monday morning for filling out your brackets on Bracketology, Breakdownology. So all the video highlights courtesy to ESPN. Everything else to the OMSR. Okay, we'll talk briefly and concisely about the West region. Alright, this is all taken from Crew 2, as I've been calling them. But I think it worked out better this way, because Crew 1, it's not that there's a difference in quality between the two. It's just different. Crew 1, your lead man on points, MCs, Reese, Jay, your other Jay Will, Seth Greenberg was probably there, Digger, and of course Dickie V. They will go on and on and on with analysis. Crew 2, we got Dan Dawkich, great one-liners, Miles Simon, Chris Carter, and Coach Bruce Pearl of Tennessee fame. Haven't quite been the same since he left. Okay, so their analysis is much more concise. So what we're doing now is looking at their thoughts on how their brackets came together and how it's going to break down in the West region. So on the quickie sport rant of the segment, I really don't have anything. I got issues with the other three. Now, rant always has a negative connotation, but I submit to you, you could also go on a rant in a positive way. It's all in the delivery. You go all going off on a positive, oh my God, it's like blowing up because your school won. Or you could be a total Dylan Downer, talking negative, or a Debbie Downer if you're the female persuasion. So, quickie sport rant in a good way. The West region, I like seeing the geographical friendliness. In fact, in all the regions, there's nobody going from like the East Coast way out west where they got no business being. They did a stellar job this year. Alright, so that's what's coming up, West Region Breakdown. Thanks for watching those silly DUIs while you're out there. Roll clips.
Like carving pumpkins in late October, or hanging lights on Christmas Eve. Filling brackets is a must in March. Study it, fill it out, burn it up, start again, hand it in. Show those boys in accounting who knows who's best. 3 weeks, one word, madness. In the Arizona desert, Johnson the trailer. Yes! Gordon, what strength there! Balance, athleticism, and power are on display. As Sean Miller and his crew push on to Dallas.
Welcome back to Bracketology. Just to reiterate what we've done today, as soon as the brackets were announced, these three filled out them in entirety, all 4 regions, and then we combine them into one super bracket, and we're going through right now who wins and why, and we're in the West region, and it's still in the round of 64. Consensus, is this the easiest of the 4 regions? I know you don't want to paint a picture, Bruce, but is that how you would describe it?
It is for me, because what I do is I look at the top 4 seeds, and I think Arizona is obviously a strong one. Wisconsin is a 2. I think that for certain teams, Wisconsin struggles with, and they've not advanced through tournament play. Creighton is not very athletic. Quick teams have bothered them. And San Diego State is a little bit of an unknown. So I look at the top 4 seeds, and I say, you know what? That's the weakest group of 4, I think.
Is this the toughest 8-9 game for a 1 to play?
And there is no question.
Yes.
If Arizona can get past the Oklahoma State Gonzaga winner, I think they can get there. But that is another question. We're gonna let Miles chime in.
Well, you like Oklahoma State, though. All 3 of you like Oklahoma State in this one?
We do all like Oklahoma State,
okay.
but
The case for the Zags, obviously a different team than last year. They lose Olenek, they lose Harris. Kevin Pangos has been banged up for most of the season with turf toe. He had an ankle injury, but you have to really watch out for Sam Dower. Sam Dower has been playing great
Wouldn't
at the
that be
power
court
forward
toe?
spot. He shoots the ball well, all the way
How do you
almost
get
out to the
turf toe
three-point
if you're
line.
playing ball,
He's
right?
great at pick and
Plays
pop. He
football
rolls to
too?
the basket. Shimmick Karnowski has excellent size, the 7-footer. Mark Few playing more zone, 1-1-3 this year, so he can try to make teams beat you from the outside. I like Oklahoma State, but Zags dangerous in that matchup.
I think we all liked Oklahoma State, but just by a little bit. And sort of Marcus Smart was the intangible, just his story and the fact that he's such a great winner. But we all felt like, regardless of who won this game, they could challenge Arizona, Oklahoma State's toughness and athleticism, Gonzaga, their length and their zone.
5-2 since Marcus Smart's come back. I see him growing up a little bit. Like, I thought he kind of bought his own stuff for most of the year, and it culminated with pushing of the fan. But I see him complaining less, and I see him flopping less. He got to flop less than he flopped. So my question is he playing the best basketball of the year right now?
Yeah, he is.
I think so too.
He is. And I was in the Big 12 for the whole year, and Marcus Smart is playing his best basketball. And not only is he playing his best basketball, but he is elevating his teammates' level of play.
Right.
He's made LeBron Nash better. The difference in numbers when Marcus Smart plays with Phil Forte than those 3 games when Forte was out. Forte can't get a look without Marcus Smart because he has to handle the ball a little bit more. They can key on him. A huge difference.
He's worrying about winning because he's a great competitor.
And that's who he was last year.
Great defense, physical, down low with players like Spangler. Yet you still like North Dakota State to be able to move on.
They have a kid named Bjorken. He doesn't want to play basketball after college. He's big. He killed Notre Dame. He wants to go be a farmer. So when a guy just wants to be a farmer, what's he concentrating on? He's concentrating on what Miles said he did with Arizona. He's concentrating on winning games, being tough, and then playing in the NCAA tournament. So I think because of Bjorken becoming a farmer, that's the reason they're going to win.
Reasoning.
Hey, analytical work I've ever heard.
It segued right from you. You focused on one. You're not worried about being a pro. You're not worried about anything other than being a farmer and
But if
winning
he's
games
worried
in the
about
tournament.
planting seeds and not making baskets, that's a concern.
No, that's after.
Oh,
right
okay,
now.
after. All right.
And they had a tough non-conference schedule, and they were able to play well during the non-conference.
Played well, but they didn't win those games.
Beat Notre Dame.
All right, well, Notre Dame
had everybody.
No.
Notre Dame had everybody. They had Jerry and Grant at that time.
Hey, Delaware, another tournament team.
And it's really hard to pick against Lon Kruger wherever he goes. But Saul Phillips is a terrific, bright, young coach. He's from Bo Ryan's family tree. They run the swing probably better than Wisconsin does, so they'll control tempo, and they'll keep this game close.
And they have a star player. Taylor Braun is excellent. He made the game-winning basket in the finals, I believe, against IPFW. And he drove the contact and gets the foul. I think North Dakota State, they lead the nation in field goal percentage. And
Are you guys unanimous?
Oklahoma is not a great defensive team. They're offensive minded. It's going to be an up and down game.
Here's the other thing about Taylor Braun. He was having a horrible game in that final, and then he scored the last 6 points, I believe.
He doesn't want to be a farmer, though.
No, he wants to be a pro.
Okay.
You got to have one guy that wants to be a farmer and one guy that wants to be a pro.
Well, the Bison, what a year it's been for them, football and now basketball.
And a $40 million enhancement to their athletic facility.
Well, that's what being so good in football and basketball will do for you. Let's move to the bottom half of the West region. Very interesting year. Nebraska gets in. They had at one point in time, they had won 15 or 12 of their last 15 games. So really picking it up in the Big Ten to get in as an 11th seed. And another team in Baylor that has been hot at the end of the year. Why is this team Baylor any different than they were the first half of the year, Coach? Where have they seen improvement?
Well, when you lose Pierre Jackson, it was such a dominating point guard. It's going to take you a while to get adjusted. And the Big 12 was tough. They started 2-8. Here's the brilliant thing. You start 2-8 in your league, did you have a chance to lose your team? Don't you have a chance to lose a fan base and lose your team? Okay, Scott Drew did not lose his basketball team. I give those guys all the credit in the world. The Twin Towers, Corey Jefferson and Isaiah Austin, they change a lot of things at the line.
The thing that changed with the Baylor Bears is Corey Jefferson's attitude and mentality. I had their game towards the end of the season against Iowa State at home. And I talked to Jefferson. He had a streak of about 3 or 4 double-doubles in a row. And he was just saying, he talked with Coach. He said, I need to play till I'm exhausted. I need to play with more energy and more effort. And that has been the thing that's changed. He's more aggressive. They're throwing him the ball in the post. Then you add in that Brady Heslop has taken really the leadership reins of this team. And Scott Drew has committed more to playing that zone defense and using the length. They're a bad man-to-man team, using the length of the zone to affect teams, and they're rebounding the ball well.
I refuse to be a part of this. Nebraska's going to win the game.
A lot of things.
They're going to win the game because if they go to the zone, they can shoot the basket. Trent Petway is really, really good. He has developed into a first-team All-Big Ten player. And you mentioned what happened at Baylor, okay? 5-game losing streak, 1 out of conference, Cincinnati, and then the 4 straight to start the Big Ten season for Nebraska. They can shoot the basketball from spots. They have a little quick guy named Benny Parker who loves to create.
A little bit later on. You all have them getting past Louisiana Lafayette, who won the Sun Belt against Georgia State earlier today. But as we continue to look at the West, you've got Oregon and Wisconsin as well. It's an Oregon team against BYU. Not a whole lot of defense, but enough offense to at least get by BYU here early.
Yeah, I think so. Oregon is a guard-oriented team. They've changed after their long losing streak. I think it was 7 in a row maybe. They dedicated the offense back to Jonathan Lloyd. When Dominic Artis, who was the driving force of the team last year when they went to the Sweet 16, got suspended for the first 9 games this year, Jonathan Lloyd was like top 10 in the country in assists, like 7 per game. They've given him the reins to the offense. Joseph Young is an elite scorer. Mike Moser is kind of finding his rhythm that he had a couple years ago in UNLV, and I like Oregon in that game. They already beat them earlier this year, and no Kyle Collinsworth for BYU. He's a difference maker.
Sets up a very interesting second-round matchup there between Oregon and Wisconsin.